You know, that was quite a coup, having the media pledge to help your department. How did you do it?
Well, first of all, we're very grateful for this show of force and show of unity, all in the name of supporting Philippine tourism. We did it the way we have always done our work in the Department of Tourism, and that is to reach out our hand of collaboration. This is by no means the work of government alone, developing tourism. And so we recognize the importance of the media in telling the stories of the Filipino. And we need it now more than ever.
Yeah, the media has always been at odds, and you know they're reticent to pledge support and to sign. So this is quite a milestone. Why do you think, aside from you're reaching out, why do you think you? Well, one editor said, "Kawawa naman si Secretary Frasco." Do you feel kawawa?
Well, it has certainly been a very challenging time. And the headwinds that we have faced as a nation are both internal and international. And this coming together of media, to my mind, communicates one prevailing thing over the politics, over the partisanship, over the trials. That is love of country. We're all Filipinos, we all love our country. And I sincerely believe that we wish for our country to succeed. And tourism is the best engine to do that, being the most reliable source of livelihood, employment, and income, notwithstanding the climate of the day.
You referred to, one editor even said the numbers are dismal compared to the beauty, what we have to offer. But you said one thing that struck me in your speech was that the revenue has increased despite the drop in the numbers in the tourism arrivals.
Yes.
How was this achieved? It's not because of inflation, or
Yes.
how did we achieve the increased revenue?
Yes.
Of how much?
We reached 3.86 trillion in
Okay.
combined international and domestic spending, and this actually exceeds our pre-pandemic numbers.
Yeah.
Tourism has always been traditionally seen as a singular number industry. And by that, I mean it has been judged only by the number of international arrivals. I understand that as a traditional view of tourism, and that is very, very important. And we are certainly working as hard as we can to ensure that our numbers from foreign markets continue to increase. However, we have sought to expand that perspective to match how the world now views tourism. And that is by several metrics, measuring the value of tourism in terms not only of international, but also of domestic. Speaking of domestic tourism, we ranked number 1 in the ASEAN at 134 million domestic trips last year, and valued at over $70 billion by the World Travel and Tourism Council.
You mean more Filipinos traveled around the Philippines than Indonesians in Indonesia? Parang ganon, or Vietnamese in Vietnam?
That is the case, yes. And not only that, if you compare the tourism spending per capita, tourism revenues vis-a-vis international arrivals, the Philippines also ranks number 1 in the ASEAN, with tourism spending at $2,073 per tourist. In addition to that, our length of stay is something that we're very proud of. In 2019, the average length of stay was 9 nights, and now that has breached 11 nights. In terms of tourism employment, we're one of the biggest employers in the ASEAN at nearly 7 million. And if you count indirect employment, we benefit over 16.4 million Filipinos.
Yes, you mentioned that. I don't think anyone will quarrel with you about the multiplier, the vast multiplier effect of tourism. And yet, why does government seem reluctant to invest in your budget? For instance, bakit ang baba-baba ng budget? Samantalang kitang-kita naman yung ebidensya.
Well,
it's like some kind of short-sightedness. Diba? Because we do not match the spending of Indonesia, Vietnam, maybe Cambodia will exceed us na in terms of tourism arrivals.
Yes.
They will? Or they have?
Indonesia, they
No,
have.
Cambodia.
Yes. Oh, Cambodia, not.
Not-
Well,
Maka Myanmar will beat us na.
the thing
Or
is,
Laos.
what is often not discussed,
Mm.
before I answer your question,
Mm.
is the archipelagic nature of the Philippines
Mm.
vis-a-vis the landlocked international borders of our direct competitors.
Okay.
The Philippines is 99.9% dependent on international air travel
Mm.
for foreigners to come to the country.
Mm.
In direct contrast to our direct competitors who simply have to cross a border
Yeah,
by
that's-
land and be able to be in another country.
Mm.
But that being said, the focus of the Department of Tourism under the Marcos administration has been to ensure that we elevate the quality of tourism experiences as well as to increase the tourism value chain, which accounts for why there is more tourism spending, there is longer stay, there are repeat visits of anywhere from 60 to 70%. What we have done is to diversify the tourism experience, anchor the Philippine experience on the strength of our heritage and culture,
Mhm.
and elevate the quality of services. From a little over 10,000, we've now trained over 400,000 in the Filipino brand of service excellence. And so anywhere across the country, you are assured of not just a world-class hospitality experience, but also one that seeks to purvey our values as Filipinos.
So, better trained guides who are more knowledgeable about, their locality. Kasi minsan, medyo kulang tayo doon.
Yes.
Is that what you mean among these 400,000 Filipinos? Tama?
Yes, that plus our tourism industry skills program, where we continue to capacitate our tourism frontliners in various skills, including tour guiding. Now, as far as the budget
Yeah.
is concerned, back in 2023, our promotions budget stood at 1.2 billion pesos.
Promotions budget lang, not
Correct.
Okay.
Not the entirety of the budget.
Okay.
And with that, we were able to aggressively promote the country. However, unfortunately, 2024 saw a slashing of that budget by 1 billion. And a further slashing of that budget to only 100 million in 2025. I wish to correct that our president has prioritized tourism for the Philippines. But the complications, I think, of having to pass through the needle of the House,
the legislative.
yes, resulted in the slashing of the budget. And so our battle cry has really been to restore the budget to its previous levels, because the notion is very simple. Tourism is not just a low-hanging fruit. It's an engine of the economy. The more you fuel and invest in it, the more it can deliver for the country.
Yeah.
The less that you do,
In I
and the
don't know
less
how
you will
many
receive.
fold.
Exactly.
20 times? I don't know, 30?
Well, let me tell you, Ces, that for every peso invested in tourism, there's a return of 450%.
Oh, imagine. So, anyway, one of the things that's also hampering our growth is the infrastructure. Diba?
Yes, that's true.
Like flying to Siargao is so expensive, or to Palawan, to Coron, compared to flying to Taipei, Da Nang in Vietnam, right?
Yes. Well, Ces, I come from local government. And so basic infrastructure is one that is, to me, of absolute importance. And this is also the long-standing request of the industry. That is to improve tourism infrastructure through land, sea, and air, which is why under the National Tourism Development Plan, approved by the President for 2023 to 2028, tourism has actually found its way to the #1 spot of priorities.
In
And
infrastructure.
that is correct. Tourism infrastructure.
What year?
2023.
Oh,
Yes.
what happened?
Well, we now see the privatization of the NAIA, as well as the ongoing privatization of other gateways. Over 800 kilometers of tourism roads have been constructed and expanded under the Tourism Road Infrastructure Program. And on our end, through the DOT and the TIEZA, we have now constructed around 14 tourist rest areas across the country to increase tourist convenience, safety, and the like. But we recognize that there are still so very many challenges that hound our destinations as far as tourism infrastructure is concerned.
But were you not affected by the insertions of, did some of the priority projects for tourism get deprioritized because of, the scandal, the flood control mess?
In our case, it was not an insertion, but an ejection from our budget. From 1.2 billion, it became only 200 million. As to where that 1 billion went to, I leave it to the people's imagination.
Did your husband not investigate this? Is that why he left the majority in the house? Sorry, I'm going ahead of the... I wanted to save that for last, but yeah.
Well, he left for a good number of reasons, all justified in the name of true public service, I would say. And we both have paid a very high price for that.
In what sense?
Well, for one,
kaya nawala ng budget ang tourism.
Immediately after he declared his independence from the majority at the time, the attacks started to come. Not just against him, but against me. And while I had maintained a relative silence as far as the slashing of our budget and elected to just work from the background and, do my pleadings privately to work for the industry, I had to speak up at the time. And I had to speak the truth that the reason why there has been a deceleration in our ability to meet our targets, in our ability to promote the Philippines as vigorously as we could, is simply because our budget was slashed. And so it's really not, it's less underperformance and more, I think, a very political, unfortunate political situation.
So that 1 billion was put elsewhere.
I suppose so, yes.
Yeah. Or pwede nilang sabihin we prioritized other things, but we know what happened there. Diba? They put it in places where they could get a commission or a share, right?
Well, I can't say I have intimate knowledge of that, but all I know is that the tourism industry is the best investment that one can make in the country because it provides opportunities for ascension in terms of quality of life, in terms of the local economies of our destinations, and of course, in terms of country imaging. And considering all that we have been through, all the trials that have come to pass, we feel that tourism continues to be a beacon of hope. And that's why we are advocating for more support in tourism. And that is precisely what we have been trying to do in this budget process at the moment. We've successfully passed through both the House and Senate deliberations.
So this is 3.7 billion now, budget for the entire budget for DOT.
Thereabouts, plus our attached agencies.
Okay. Now, there is this, well, most people, majority naman, really love the fact that we're now on the map, or the gastronomy map with Michelin, rating our restaurants, maski turo-turo,
Yes.
nasa listahan. But, well, we spent some amount. 300 million nga, is that an accurate figure? Pesos?
Actually, Ces, as with our Southeast Asian neighbors who have also gained the attention of the Michelin Guide, it really is a destination partnership that has been necessary in order to ensure that we come into the radar of the most prestigious guide in the world, and that is Michelin. And so for us in the Department of Tourism, we view it as an investment in the country, in our people, and in opportunities for the future.
Mhm.
Just the other day, I had the opportunity to go around the restaurants, the eateries, carinderias that were selected, including
Yeah.
the Morning Sun.
Yeah, I want
Which
to
has
go.
been-
Have you been?
Ang sarap ng dinakdakan, dinuguan,
Paborito kang
barbecue.
dinakdakan.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to visit our
Yeah.
restaurants and speak to them and present to them the plaques
Yeah.
given by the Michelin. And their sentiments were common amongst each other in a sense that they're reporting a doubling of revenues, fully booked days for lunch and dinner, long lines, and even in some cases the need to add manpower and to employ more people in order to manage the volume of people that have since come to their establishments with the announcements of the Michelin Guide. And these are a combination of both domestic and international tourists. So the Michelin effect is real. And
So money
we're-
well spent, you would say. Ayaw mong i-confirm kung 300 or more or what? Less? Is there a confidentiality clause there?
There was, yes.
Mhm.
There was, yes. But no, it's not 300.
Less?
Not 300.
More?
No, not more.
200? Okay, but the naysayers, it has contributed to an increase in morale, enthusiasm, I have to say. And but naysayers say, why are we paying for approval from our Westerners? What do you have to say to those that have doused cold water on this?
Well, first of all, there is no question as to the excellence of the creativity of the Filipino that can be found and is evinced in our culinary industry, from our chefs, our cooks, and even to our farmers, our fisher folk, and all of those that are part of
Those that produce
correct.
the food. Oh.
Yes, all that are part of the culinary tourism landscape.
Yeah.
This excellence continues to be recognized globally, even amongst Filipinos who are now abroad and have earned their own accolades. The Michelin Guide is not just any institution. It is one that has been around for over a century. They have created their own reputation. And this institution, having provided this sense of not approval, but affirmation of Filipino culinary creative excellence, is a boost that we welcome.
Yeah.
Because, says, why wouldn't we want good news for the Philippines?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we want opportunities for our people to be recognized and to thrive?
Yeah.
We're all Filipinos after all, and we must support each other. And this is our way of doing just that.
So it's not because we don't know that it's good. Diba? We know it's good. This is just an added
That's
bonus,
true. And
diba?
it's also a guide for those who have not yet had the
who don't
opportunity
know.
to come to the Philippines to see our country from that which we already know. Filipino food is delicious.
Yeah.
But we have to admit that it has had severe lack in terms of true global promotions. And this is what we have been trying to instigate by identifying gastronomy tourism as a pillar of our national tourism strategy. And we're seeing that it's working.
Yeah. Great. Okay. What about the next round? Diba that's 1 year?
Yes.
Babayad na naman tayo.
Well, our goal, Ces, is really to be able to institutionalize the presence of Michelin. Because our hope is that more stakeholders can benefit from the guide. More can be included. I mean, we had a historic 108 establishments recognized.
Many places still to visit, no?
That is true. And so our hope is to be able to institutionalize this partnership by introducing them to more cities, more types of cuisine, considering
So it's not
the
just
diversity
a
of the
1 year
Philippines.
thing. Sorry to interrupt, but
That is what we are hoping for,
Yeah.
that it will be a multi-year partnership, under the administration of President Marcos.
So nagbayad na lang tayo ng down payment. So it's not a one-time thing.
It's not a
Okay.
one-time thing.
All right.
Yes.
Kasi kaya ako nagmamadali, we only have 22 minutes and there's so much to discuss. Now, the ASEAN Tourism Forum in Cebu. Tell us more about it and what the country can expect from it. Yeah.
Well, it's an exciting time for the country for 2026. Opening with the Philippines hosting of the ASEAN Tourism Forum in Cebu in the last week of January. This will bring together tourism ministers, advocates, as well as buyers and sellers across the region to be able to ensure that we push for the Philippines' emergence as a tourism powerhouse in the ASEAN, and also to ensure that we are able to push forward the ASEAN Tourism Strategic Action Plan, of which the Philippines is the chief country coordinator. What has happened in the past few years is that we've worked with our fellow ASEAN nations to consolidate our shared aspirations for the region, especially in terms of sustainable tourism and joint promotions and the like.
Does this come because we also will be hosting the summit, or is this how did we get to host the forum next year?
Yes. Well, the chairmanship of the ASEAN in general was passed on to the Philippines by Malaysia, as you know. And in the case of the ASEAN Tourism Forum, when Myanmar elected to not host the ASEAN Tourism Forum, then the Philippines expressed its intent to host the forum.
Okay. Now, is Cebu ready after all the calamities that hit the province?
Yes. Cebu is ready to host this event of such global magnitude. We have been working very closely with Cebu's local government units as well as our tourism stakeholders. First, to ensure the integrity of the structures that will be used, as well as the accommodations, and of course the readiness of both our tourism destinations there and our on-the-ground tourism stakeholders. So we're all working towards that.
How many do we expect to come?
In terms of buyers, there are now listed over 400 buyers from across the region. And this is a good number, considering that what it will do for our tourism stakeholders in the country, not just of our well-known destinations, but also for our emerging destinations, is really to provide that good boost of tourism arrivals. We also hope to take the ASEAN as an opportunity to increase our ASEAN arrivals. Yes, because we feel that the proximity of our neighbors makes it a reasonable choice to make sure that we work with them, even as we try to continue to rely on our source markets and opportunity markets.
You know, the Vietnamese ambassador said he was so embarrassed to admit that, you know, there's been a how many percent increase, 97% surge in Filipino tourists to Vietnam in first quarter 2025. Pero bagsak yung arrivals ng Vietnamese sa atin. So, how do we fix that? And obviously, it's because it's cheaper to go to Vietnam compared to some of our really beautiful island destinations.
You know, the pricing of airline tickets has been a prevailing issue for the industry. And this is something that we have persistently communicated to not just our airline partners, but also to the Department of Transportation, CAAP, as well as the Civil Aeronautics Board. We recognize that we cannot outprice ourselves out of market. Otherwise, we lose our competitiveness. And with this, we have advocated for the following. First, complete transparency in terms of the dynamic pricing scheme of the airline industry. And so, clear publication of the ticket prices on a monthly basis through CAB. Second, for the CAB to strictly enforce our price ceilings in order to make sure that there's no shock on the side of the market when they're purchasing tickets. Considering that the airline industry is a deregulated one, It's quite a challenge, especially that this is not the chief mandate of the Department of Tourism, but we are with the public on this. We are calling for more reasonably priced tickets.
But it's also a function of infrastructure eh. Kasi if the airport is small, naturally only a small plane can land.
That's true. Which
Diba?
is also why under our convergence with the DOTR,
Yeah.
we have also submitted a list of runways which we hope can be extended in order to accommodate bigger planes, terminals that need to be improved, as well as gateways that need support in terms of activation, so that the more gateways that we have, the better runways, the longer runways, the better terminals, we can have more options.
I understand that one reform you want is for the DOT to be able to oversee the vital infrastructure, the key infrastructure projects, instead of the DPWH, which ended up to be a big black hole anyway. Diba? Is that something that can be done?
Well, since day one, coming out of my experience in local government, I have always advocated for better tourism infrastructure, whether it's roads, bridges, ports, and the like.
Yeah.
And I have lobbied for one specific infusion in budget, and that is the construction of new tourism roads. If we don't invest in our destinations, we simply cannot expect increase in tourist activity. The unfortunate thing is that the budget for tourism, new tourism roads, as well as continuing tourism roads, has also seen a steady decrease. In 2023, it stood at around 19 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Onwards to now, it's only around 3 billion. And so we can see that the deceleration...
A drop in the bucket compared
Exactly.
to pang-flood control.
That's true. And in the case of tourism roads, it's completely quantifiable.
Yeah.
It's data-driven.
Yeah.
It's beneficial to our tourism stakeholders. And there is complete accountability as far as the finished road is concerned, because there are identified tourism destinations. So our advocacy has been for the budget for tourism infrastructure specific to roads to be lodged under either the DOT or TIAZA, whichever the case may be. Well, it's up to Congress to decide.
Pero will that be part now of the 2026 budget? No.
No, I don't think so. Yes.
Okay. So it's still, you have to push and lobby more.
Yes. Meanwhile, we have tried to maximize the use of the funds that we have under TIAZA by implementing tourism infrastructure programs that are truly beneficial to our destinations. That's through our Tourism Champions Challenge program.
What's
we have local government units from all over the Philippines propose their own tourism infrastructure project. So it's
Okay.
crowdsourced. It's based on the own needs of their destinations
Okay.
and their community-based tourism organizations. But we provide a certain criteria for them to comply with.
And then you fund it.
And then we fund it. And not only that, we fund it and we
That's
support it
interesting.
through our tourism stakeholders. So we create an entirely new ecosystem for a tourism economy in these destinations.
Okay. We barely have a few minutes left, but Cebu is going to be the focus in 2026, right? How are you getting along with the successor of your mom? Because, di ba, syempre, your mom is a very astute and fiery politician. So how is that? How is your relationship with the new governor, Maricuatro?
Yes. It is a professional one in that I recognize the mandate that has been given her by way of our democratic process of elections. I respect the will of the Cebuanos whom I love with every fiber of my being. And with that, we have not stopped in terms of our effort to collaborate. Case in point, we are in full coordination as far as the organization of the ASEAN is concerned. And we do have forthcoming projects for Cebu as well. In fact, I will be in Cebu tomorrow
Oh, okay.
to sign a tripartite memorandum of agreement for our Visit Cebu campaign.
Mhm.
We're working as hard as we can to reinvigorate the tourism industry in Cebu, whether it's bringing in the first international cruise in very, very many years,
Oh, wow.
shortly after the earthquake, or working with the DOTR, CAAP, and CAB to mount new routes to Cebu, including from Kuala Lumpur, from Australia, and from Vietnam, which all have recently been launched, or doing joint promotions with the industry in our offices across the world. We are here to fully support Cebu's recovery from all the calamities that it has had.
So nakikita ka pa ba ng anak mo? Kasi you mentioned that you accepted this portfolio just after you had given birth, right?
Shortly after, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you balance?
With great
Work life.
difficulty. If I'm being
Do they
completely
go to
honest.
Lola?
It's been quite a period of transition for our very, very young family. My son, who had been newly born, is now newly 4 years old. So that is the length of time by which I have elected to serve the country and perhaps not always be a very present mother.
Yeah. There are compromises you have to make.
Yes, but
Is it worth it? I hope
I hope
at the
so.
end of your
Yeah.
term, naiiyak ka. Because of the sacrifices, no? Yeah, but don't never feel guilty. I think that's a useless emotion.
True.
Diba?
Yeah.
Guilt, wala namang mangyayari.
Well, I'm grateful for my husband, Duke, who has been such a great partner throughout all this. We are very united. You know, he has been such a great partner to me throughout all this, and of course, I'm very grateful for my family. They have been my rock and my anchor throughout all this. Whether it was leading a town of nearly 160,000 or now leading the country's tourism portfolio, I've also always believed that I cannot be a good leader if I'm not a good mother. And so I do try as hard as I can to mother my children remotely sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of help, and I'm very grateful for everyone that has really supported us in this journey.
Lastly, what are you most proud of since 2022, since assuming this portfolio?
Yes. Well, I don't see the privilege of permanence in this position. And the best that I can hope for is that by the time my term ends, that we will have ensured that our fellow Filipinos are able to breathe a little easier because of tourism. I'm very proud of the fact that despite meager budgets, impossible challenges to surmount, we have managed to ensure an industry that employs nearly 7 million people and over 16.4 million Filipinos directly and indirectly. I'm proud of the fact that despite the trials, we have managed to engender this deep love of country and pride of place in our fellow Filipinos. And most proud of our industry.
Yeah.
Because again and again, what we see is a unity that is driven by this pride in being Filipino. And that is what we hope to leave. A country that, despite its challenges, will never forget its spirit. That is the Filipino spirit that will always prevail amidst all trials and challenges.
Well, today you united the media for tourism. So hopefully, no, we can unite the country in that manner. Walang kulay, no? Ang tourism.
That is what we hope for.
Yeah.
Because, Ces, at the end of the day, no matter our political leanings, no matter our personal opinions, no matter the seeming polarization of our everyday life, we're all Filipinos.
Yeah.
We have a motherland that is worthy of our love and our support. We must fight for our country.
Yeah.
It's the only one we have.
Yeah.
And we must fight for our children to inherit a country that to inherit a country that is well deserving of its global prominence. For we have all the assets to be just that.
Yeah, you're doing it for your children. I'm doing it for my grandchildren.
What a fabulous grandmother you look.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Your mom must be so proud of you.
I hope to make her proud. Yes.